It's late June and we are starting our journey from Norway to the south of France. And the first stage of the trip is with the ferry to Denmark. And right now we are at the ferry port and it's 14 degrees and raining. After we've settled into the cabins, we go back out on deck to wave goodbye to Bergen. And not long after, the children's entertainment starts.
Tenk på det. Det noen av dere som har en bestevenn? Ja! Dere er bestevenner?
And after that, it's back out on deck to watch the coast go past and play football with a tennis ball on deck until the sun sets and we are back in the cabin to go to bed and try and get a few hours sleep before arriving in Denmark in the morning.
Good morning, Denmark.
It's 8 o'clock when we get off the ferry and we have a long drive ahead of us. The plan is to get to a campground just about an hour north of Hamburg. All we did along the way was to stop in Hobro to buy some food and have a picnic by the side of the road at the truck stop. In Padenstedt in Germany, we found the campground, a campground which we have been to once before and were happy with, so we decided to stay there one more time and started to put up the tent right away. Hello, we have finally got to Germany We've been driving all day since 8 o'clock, and I don't know what time it is now. It's around 5, and it's lovely weather. It's 25 degrees and the sun is shining, and when we left home yesterday it was 14 degrees and pouring down. So it's a definite improvement in the weather. But as I've just showed you, I put up this old tent that we bought in 2000 in Australia. I still can't find a name for this tent because it doesn't really say anywhere. But it was bought in Kmart in Australia, so it's probably some generic Kmart kind of thing. And when I've been looking to figure out what it's actually called, I found this little note. It doesn't say anything about the name of tent or whatever it is, but it says that it's made in China, so big surprise there. But I guess this is what you could call a cozy setup. It's to get everything ready, it takes less than 10 minutes for one person, so it's fairly convenient, and we are gonna be sleeping 2 in here. I'm on the green mattress and Vincent on the orange. And for Bernard and Martina, they will put up another tent that is slightly bigger than this. They've actually gone down to a lake just 50 meters from here to go for a swim. And I might go down there shortly myself. I just want to get everything set up. And I must admit, after a night on the boat, sleeping on the boat is not the most comfortable in the world, but I am really looking forward to a night in this tent again. It's probably nearly a year since last time. Must have been last August. Last time we used it, so it's about time. But I think this year I might take this on new adventures. I really want to try some wild camping as well, because it's something that I basically haven't done before. As long as the weather isn't too bad, I think this tent will cope with that as well. Let me show you the view from the tent. It's not bad. You see? Right in front of us is the water faucet and some electricity outlets. And as you can see, there are no one else here. Well, there are quite a few people, I think, on the campground, but they are all in caravans, RVs, and they are renting cabins, and there seems to be a lot of people who have their caravans and everything set up all year round, so they spend a large part of the year around here. So. But as a camper, we are by ourselves, which is just perfect. That's one of the things I really like about being in a tent. You can just sit there, you can listen to the birds chirping, and you can watch birds and sometimes other animals just walk past. It is absolutely lovely. I'm not sure what that bird is called, but it doesn't matter. During the last year, watched a lot of YouTube videos and a lot of tent reviews, which are extremely popular on YouTube for some reason. But I guess it is nice to have the latest gear and the newest tent and the lightest tent. But I just got a phone call, got interrupted a bit. But this, as I said, I've watched quite a few tent reviews, and they give all sort of information about the specifications of each tent. But what I could say about this tent is that it is about as small as you can get it. You see, the mattress goes from, it touches both ends of the tent, so it's about as small as you can get. And there's nothing special about it. There's one pocket like this on each side, and that's about it. It says the roof and wall is made of 70D nylon, but I'm not sure what that means. So, and at the moment, I don't really care what it means. It's sunny out, and a paper bag could withstand this weather, so this will be just fine. Now I'm gonna go and find the cooking gear, because it's time for dinner. I'm going down to the lake. I'll prepare dinner instead, so there'll be food ready when they are finished swimming. I think that's the best solution.
Nå er det ost på alle da plutselig.
Mitt av en kombo. Nei. Jeg tror ikke du hadde gjettet uansett.
Ja, sikkert ikke, men...
Today we are playing a bit of soccer. Maybe not the best pitch, but we will see.
As he just said, this may not be the best pitch in the world. Look at this. Full of mushrooms.
I'm gonna save this one.
we are sitting here on the bench. We've been walking around this lake, and something I didn't tell earlier, that was the name of this campground. What's the campground called, Vincent?
Campingplatz
Forellensee.
Forellensee!
Genau. But this is a very nice campground with, as I'm gonna show you now, because I've been filming while I've been walking around the campground, and there's a lot of facilities for playing, for swimming. The lake, there's for swimming on one side. Over on the one corner, there's a beach for animals, horses and dogs and things, stuff. And on the other side again, there are for fishing. There's places for fishing. So here you can go swimming, you can go fishing, you can take your dog for a swim. And there is heaps of play stuff for kids. All right? Mm-hmm. Okay. See you later.
Det var bare Vincent som fucket den opp.
Du er her.
Vincent manier.
Jeg visste det. Det ble jo fiskebåt.
Rutschen hat auf den orangen Haus.
This grass sounds kind of angry. I wonder what's making this sound. First I thought it was one of the geese or some bird, but could it actually be a frog? Frog that's making such a loud sound? Because I can't seem to move away from this grass at the moment, because it's kind of fascinating with loud, noisy grass, and I just can't see anything that is actually making this noise. It is probably a toad or a frog or something. Well, I've never heard anything quite like it. But whatever it is, I'm just gonna leave it alone. It probably doesn't want to be disturbed. So, good night, whoever you are. It's nearly 10 o'clock in the evening, but I just noticed there's actually a cafeteria here which is called Kinderland, which means it's for children. They have ice cream and burgers and nuggets, and they even got the famous German currywurst. But what I find most fascinating about this place is that, do you notice what I'm seeing? There are ashtrays on the tables. That's not something you see very often these days. We're back at the tent, and as you can see, the other tent has come up and more guests have arrived. We are not alone anymore in the tents. There are 2 more people with tents here. So, but it's quiet time. It's past 10. Oh, so it's time to check out the facilities and brush your teeth.
Jeg går og pusser tenner. Skal du være med? Jeg skal pusse de her.
Hvordan går det her inne?
Sigma mil. Veldig fint, Ole. Jeg har ikke sovnet ennå.
Hvordan er setupet her inne da?
Hyggelig.
Og er det litt mer avansert enn inne hos oss?
Her gives glamping.
Glamp. Yeah, obviously glamping. We have invested in a tent lamp this time. And for the first time ever, we are actually having light in the tent. What do you think, Vincent? Is it good? Mm-hmm. Good night. The first night in a tent for a long time. This is going to be good. See you in the morning. Good morning. It's 7:30 and I had a reasonably good night's sleep, but it's, if you're gonna call this campground with something, it's the noise, because there's a road not too far away and the traffic is relentless. So it might not be the easiest place to sleep especially if you're a light sleeper. But I think I managed to get at least 6 hours, so it should be fine. Today we have a long drive ahead of us. We're going to try to get through Germany, or at least as close as possible to the French border, and hopefully across the border. We'll see how it goes. It all depends on the traffic. But first, it's breakfast time. I'm gonna get out there and do some cooking. Put the coffee on and make some bacon and pancakes. I think that'll be just fine. Just let's see what it looks like outside. It'll be a nice. Bernard is up. It's up.
Nu bist du wieder bereit, ein Auto zu geben, oder wie? Inte något släpper det långt så draußen sein.
Oj, så länge. Jag vet inte när det är nu.
Många nattklubbar.
Jag tror jag vill gå dit.
Warum? Sen ist wohl am schönsten, oder?
Han sa han ikke skulle der. Han sa skulle gi han nøkkelen, og så han jeg skal ikke, sa han. Så har jeg en til.
It's time to say goodbye to Campingplatz Forellensee, and the plan is to drive through Germany and over the French border, and hopefully we'll find a nice campground in northern France. And we did find a nice campground right next to the river Moselle in the town called Corny sur Moselle. This was a much more basic campground, but it was nicely situated but it didn't have much of facilities for playing and doing things. But we took a walk along the river. And of course we brought the football along, and that was all we needed before it was time to go to bed and get ready for the final stage of this trip to south of France. The next day we were gonna drive all the way to Laroque, Albères, which is close to the Mediterranean Sea and the Spanish border, so diagonally across France. It's a long drive, and we decided to stop for lunch and a bit of sightseeing in a town called Tournus, which turned out to be a very nice place with a few interesting things to see. Among them, an old hospital that had been turned into a museum, which we just managed to walk through before they closed for lunch. After this interesting museum, we had a nice lunch by the river. before we visited the town church, which was also quite nice, and it had a nice crypt that we had to get into as well. We left just as it started raining, but we left the rain behind us fairly quickly and kept on driving all the way to Laroque des Albères.
Fordi han tenkte. Men
After a few very nice days driving through Europe, we arrived just as the sun was going down behind the Pyrenees. Please like and subscribe, and good night.